Hello, Namaste and welcome back to the Sea Doll Diaries. I'm Sheetal and here are the 10 books that I plan to read before the end of the year. Last year I made the mistake of making this my 10 before the end list. I made it early on in the month, but I believe it was early in the month of December. And looking back, I don't know who I was kidding. I knew I wouldn't be able to read 10 books within a month. But for some reason I had told myself that it was because I wasn't feeling well, not because the way I read, I know I can't. Realistically, during Christmas month, I don't think I can get 10 books read. So this year, I'm starting a little bit earlier. I think at the time of filming this, we are, let me check, I believe we are 6 weeks away from the end of the year. 1, 2, I've got just over 6 weeks before the end of the year, and I think it's doable. If November and December were just standard months for me, then yes, I would definitely be able to read 10 books, most likely more than that. However, I have a lot on during Christmas, and in November it is my daughter's birthday, so I have a lot on for her birthday and the run up to Christmas as well. However, I am looking forward to the books on my list, and it's quite a wide variety. I think there is. I've got some Christmas books in there. I've got some winter themed books, so stick around and maybe you'll find some books that you want to read before the end of the year as well. Book 1 on my list is the Dallergut Dream Department Store. It is the book we've chosen as part of my book club for November, so I will definitely read it. But I loved the premise of this book. Actually, it's a department store in which you go to purchase your dreams, so you get to pick which dream you want to dream that night. In a mysterious town hidden in our collective subconscious, there's a department store that sells dreams. Day and night, visitors, both human and animal, shuffle in to purchase their latest adventure. Each floor specializes in a specific type of dream: childhood memories, ice skating, dreams of stardom, your crush. Flying dreams are almost always sold out. Dreams of your favorite food make you feel like you can almost taste it. I will say I've started it, and I'm almost 100 pages in. It's not a long book at all. It is, I believe, 259 pages, so it's not a long book. I'm almost halfway through. I am enjoying it. The writing style I'm finding a bit not difficult to read. It's very basic, but again, I'm enjoying the whimsy of the story itself. So that's book number 1 on my list. Book 2 is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez is one of the authors. At the beginning of the year, I did say that there were a few authors whose writings I wanted to start reading. I don't know why that feels like such a difficult sentence, and there's probably an easier way to, an author whose books I wanted to start reading. That still feels like a very long sentence. Anyway, I want to start reading Abby Jimenez's books because I've heard such great praise about her writing, and I haven't read any of them yet. I thought this one would be a good option because I think I've already purchased book number 2 when I went to, I don't know, you may have heard of 66 Book Club. It's like this book warehouse in North London, just outside of London actually. And they sell a whole variety of books, and I picked up book number 2, which is, I think, it's some kind of playlist. Does it say in here? It probably doesn't because this is book number 1. I'm not too sure, but this is book number 1. He's the best man, and that's the problem. Kristen Peterson is perfectly fine. She has friends she'd fight to the death for, and the very best dog in the world, stuntman Mike. Everything's calm and peaceful in the world of Kristen until she starts to plan her best friend's wedding and meets the best man, Josh Copeland. Josh is funny, sexy, stands up to her sarcasm, and is always one snack ahead of her hangry. Even stuntman Mike adores him, but he wants a big family, and Kristen knows children are probably not a part of her future. She is sure he'd be better off with someone else, someone who can give him everything he wants, so Kristen keeps him at arm's length in the friend zone. But as their attraction grows, it's harder and harder to resist falling for the man who seems to be everything she's not allowed to have. This sounds like there is clearly going to be some miscommunication in there, with regards to, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think more with regards to her thinking she knows what he wants. I'm not a big fan of those kind of books, of that trope, just the whole miscommunication thing. It really irritates me. But I'm still going to go in with an open mind because, like I said, I've heard such great things about her writing and her characters, so fingers crossed for this one. Book number 3 I have been waiting to read for such a long time, and that is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherworlds. I absolutely adored the first book to this. So this is book number 2. Book number 1 is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. It took me a while to remember that. Book number 1 is about Emily Wilde, who is a professor who studies fairies, and we join her on her expedition to learn about a new species of fairy, I guess. And I just found the book so enchanting. It was, for me, it was the perfect mix of whimsy. I liked the academia. The banter between the two main characters was just, it had me laughing out loud at times. I just really enjoyed reading it. It was such a fun time, and it's, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought it would be better to read it during the springtime, and I didn't read it in spring, I read it in summer. However, there's a lot of winter sunshine and you're just immersed in the elements of winter and snow and frost and just the whole beauty of it, which is why I decided to wait until near the end of the year. I've got really high hopes for this one. But if it's anything like the first book, then I'm sure I will devour it. Now we move on to my Christmas reads, and book number 4, I don't have it with me right now because I've ordered the special edition, and it is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. So this is a novella, part of her Caraval series. Caraval has a very special place in my heart. It's one of the books I read when I started getting back into reading. I really enjoyed the book. The whole series actually I enjoyed, and I feel like it's not been as popular as her second series, which is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I haven't read yet. I haven't read them yet. However, I really enjoyed the Caraval series, and so I'm looking forward to Spectacular as well. If you haven't read Caraval, I don't know if you would be able to enjoy Spectacular. Caraval is a YA fantasy. I believe it's YA. I would class it as YA fantasy, in which there is a carnival/fun fair that comes around every year, and if you are lucky enough to be selected to play, then the winner of the Caraval games is granted their wish, any wish granted by the Caraval master. We join two sisters, Scarlett and Donatella. Scarlett has always dreamed of playing Caraval because she has a wish she really wants granted, and Donatella, who doesn't necessarily believe in the magic of Caraval. So we join the two sisters and their adventures within Caraval. Like I said, I really enjoyed the book. I liked Stephanie Garber's world building, so I'm definitely looking forward to going back into that world. Book number 5 is another one that's part of a series, and that is The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. Although it's part of the series, it can be read as a standalone. The first one is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and then the second one is The Cinnamon Bun Cafe. I've read both of those, so I know you can read this without having read those, but just know that if you do, then you will have spoilers for the other two, because book 1's characters are mentioned in book 2, and so I figure the same will happen with this one, and along with their characters, just their stories, their situations, and just things like that. So just keep that in mind. I really enjoyed The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It was just the right cozy vibes that I was looking for. Book number 2, I don't know why I didn't enjoy it. I did like it. I just didn't enjoy it as much. I liked going back to Dream Harbour, which is where the whole series is based. But I don't know. I just wasn't as invested in, I mean, I wasn't really invested in either of them. They're very light-hearted, cozy, autumnal vibes. So if that's what you're going for, then I definitely recommend the books. And that is also what I am expecting from this, just the cozy, fuzzy feelings that you get around Christmas time. The next book on my list is A December to Remember by Jenny Bayliss. I believe this is a story about three sisters who don't get along anymore, or just having grown up, they've split apart, and their father has passed away, and in order to gain the inheritance that he's left for them, he has stipulated that they must all get together for, let me see, actually, I'm probably not describing it as well as it was described to me, because when I heard it, I immediately thought that is definitely one that I want to add to my TBR. So let me just read the description. Three bickering half-sisters, one unique antique shop, the coziest holiday season of their lives. Wildly different half-sisters, Maggie, Simone and Star have hardly seen one another since their sprightly summers at Rowanthorpe, their eccentric father Augustus's home. Known for his bustling approach to the knick-knack shop he ran, Augustus was loved by all and known by none, not even his daughters. Now, years later, the three estranged women are called upon for the reading of Augustus's will and quickly realize he's orchestrated a series of hoops through which they must jump to unlock their inheritance. The last thing any of them want to do, but Maggie and Star desperately need the money. And who would Simone be to resist? Through hilarious goose chases, small-town mishaps, and one heart-warming winter solstice celebration, love, hope, and reconciliation is in the air, if only the three sisters can let themselves grasp it. I think what calls out to me about that book in particular is it sounds like it's got those winter cozy vibes, and it's more about the sisters' relationship. I love romance. I'm a cheerleader for love, and I do love reading romance, but I feel like this is something a bit different, or that it will be different to a typical holiday romance book. Holiday? I don't call it holiday. So to a typical Christmas romance book. The next book on my list is Father Christmas and Me by Matt Haig. And it's actually his collection of Christmas books that I want to read, because last year I read A Boy Called Christmas, and I was surprised at how heartwarming this book was. I feel like this is just one of those books that will just stay with you a lifetime, and I loved his writing. I loved the way his characters, the whimsy. I was shocked. I was shocked in a good way, but because I loved it so much, I saw this, I picked it up, and I didn't realize that in between the two, I can see it now on the back of the book, that there is a second book, which is The Girl Who Saved Christmas. So I want to read the whole series. I think there's probably 4 books altogether. I can't remember. I'll look into it. But because they're such short books, I'm adding the whole collection as one. The last 3 books I've got are based more around a winter setting rather than Christmas itself. And the first of those 3 is Midnight in Everwood. This is a retelling. I won't tell you what it is. Is it a retelling or similar? I can't remember. I won't tell you what the retelling is of itself, because I personally don't like it when I am told. I feel like it's a bit of a spoiler. However, I will go through the summary. If you can work out what the retelling is, then I'm sorry. But if I don't give you a summary, how will you know if it's something you want to read or not? There's nothing Marietta Stell loves more than ballet, but after Christmas, her dreams will be over as she is obligated to take a place in Edwardian society. Okay, it might be slightly Christmassy, but I've picked it up more for the vibes. While she's chafing against such suffocating traditions, a mysterious man purchases the neighbouring townhouse. Dr. Dosselmeyer is a charming but calculating figure who wins over the rest of the Stell family with his enchanting toys and wondrous mechanisms. When Dosselmeyer constructs an elaborate set for Marietta's final ballet performance, she discovers it carries a magic all of its own. I'm not going to read any more. It does get into, it's quite a longer description. It does just get into, there's more magic in there. and snow, and I've just seen butterscotch-eyed captains and gingerbread, and it just screams out warm winter hug vibes to me anyway. So that's the reason I picked out that book. Book 9 happens to be another retelling, and again, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I do think you'll work it out when I read the summary to you. But it is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Will dark magic claim their home? Miriam is the daughter and granddaughter of moneylenders, but her father's too kind-hearted to collect his debts. They face poverty until Miriam hardens her own heart and takes up his work in their village. Her success creates rumors she can turn silver into gold, which attract the very king of winter himself. He sets her an impossible challenge, and if she fails, she'll die. Yet if she triumphs, it may mean a fate worse than death. And in her desperate efforts to succeed, Miriam unwittingly spins a web that draws in the unhappy daughter of a lord. It just sounds so fun and whimsical, and the perfect kind of book to cozy up with a hot drink on a cold winter's day. And finally, book number 10 is part of a trilogy. It is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I've completely forgotten what this book is about. I don't want to say it's about a bear and a nightingale. I honestly have completely forgotten, so we'll read about it together. At the edge of the Russian wilderness, winter lasts most of the year and the snowdrifts grow taller than houses. But Vasilisa, not sure how to pronounce that, but Vasilisa doesn't mind. She spends the winter nights huddled around the embers of a fire with her beloved siblings, listening to her nurse's fairy tales. Above all, she loves the chilling story of Frost, the blue-eyed winter demon who appears in the frigid night to claim unwary souls. Wise Russians fear him, her nurse says, and honor the spirits of house and yard and forest that protect their homes from evil. Oh, I don't think I've read that before. I wonder how it made its way onto my list. Perhaps maybe it's been recommended in so many winter read lists, although it's not like me to add a book to my TBR if I don't know anything about it. Anyway, it sounds like something I definitely do want to read. It's got great reviews. The first book in the trilogy has got a 4.1, the second book is a 4.35, and then the third book is a 4.49. So it sounds like one of those that is great and gets better as it goes along. And those are the 10 books that I plan on ending the year with. I will say there will probably be more Christmas books that make their way into my reading, simply because I am a very big mood reader. However, the books on my list are all books that I am very much looking forward to reading. They're not ones that I'm dreading, or not dreading, that sounds really bad, because why would I have a book on my TBR that I'm dreading? They're books that I feel like I will be in the mood for the rest of the year. So yeah, that's it. Let me know about your end of year reading goals. Oh, I've just remembered I haven't included our book club's December book because we haven't agreed on one yet. I'll see if any of my book besties fancy any from that list, and if not, then there will be another one on there as well. Do let me know about what you're reading for the rest of the year. I appreciate you watching this video. I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.